everybody. Welcome to the 12th episode of the Pile Driver Podcast. I am Daniel, joined by my other two hosts.
It's Berman.
And Chris.
And yes, we got quite a bit to talk about today. The return of John Cena may not be happening as soon as we know. Another possible return may be happening sooner rather than later. We have two wrestling shows to review later on as well. But before we begin all of this, I gotta begin by just saying, what the flying fuck was that hot dog eating competition on Monday Night Raw? Jesus Christ. This might have been one of the worst wrestling segments of the entire year. So we have the Street Profits and Alpha Academy basically go into a hot dog eating competition, and then they wrestled later on the show. Street Profits won, and then after the match, Otis threw up on Chad Gable. I felt like I was watching some bullshit from fucking Nickelodeon or something. Like, Jesus Christ, who actually wrote this shit and was like, this is funny, this is good, let's roll with it? Who actually thinks of this shit? That's literally all I have to say. And people want to tell me Vince doesn't have any influence at all in this company. Get out of here. There was no way this segment would have ever happened if Vince was gone.
Yeah, that's completely fair. It was just so stupid. It made no sense. Like, maybe they did something because of this competition that happened like a week ago with the champion eating contest. He won. He was from Las Vegas, and in the middle of him crowning, someone just walked up, and the champion just pretty much put a sleeper hold and then just made him go to sleep. So that was like live TV, funny enough. They could have done maybe trying to do something close to that, but that was just stupid how they did that in Raw. It made no sense. And that's the only thing I would say, just what the hell.
Yeah, honestly, what the hell? I agree with that. What do you think about this hot dog eating competition, Chris? Were you entertained? Were you sports entertained?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of was. Of just how stupid it was. So I got a little chuckle. But when it came to the actual vomiting, I'm like, oh, that's actually disgusting. That's not funny. That's fucking gross. That's not funny.
It's not. It's not. It's just the only thing that's funny to me is the fact that they actually wrote this shit and said, okay, let's roll this on the USA Network.
Yeah.
And the other horrible thing is that they've actually done this running joke multiple times. There was a Thanksgiving SmackDown special in 2013 where the primetime players, it was like Titus O'Neil ate like a fuck ton of turkey or some bullshit. He wrestled, and then after the match, he stole JBL's cowboy hat and threw up in it.
I mean, that's
I remember that too. That was very funny too. I remember that much.
Like, it felt like they just wanted to copy and paste that segment. And that segment back then I thought was just dumb, but this was even worse. This was way worse. Just, yeah. Complete abomination, might I add. Now, I will say this, though. The crazier thing about it was that people are just okay with this. Like, there's not an open discussion about how embarrassing this segment is and all this shit. And maybe people are saying there shouldn't be, but come on, man. If you look at segments from the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era, and hell, even like from fucking 2011, 2012, when guys like Punk and Bryan were there. If we're comparing, like, what the fuck, man? Like, this shit has fallen off so fucking hard. I don't even know what to say. Like, I've been saying it a lot recently, you know? I'm going to be 21 years old soon. And here I am, still getting disappointed over and over and over again by the WWE, whether it comes to some of their segments or their booking decisions. I am sincerely hoping change happens sooner rather than later, because if it doesn't, I could very likely just stop watching altogether. And that's all I can really say. I mean, this is fucking embarrassing how we're at the rate as fans to where we're just accepting this shit. I mean, it's fucking disappointing to me.
Yeah, it's completely fair. The only thing I'm going to say is freaking Vince McMahon, get the hell out of Raw and SmackDown. Just go home and sleep. Probably go into a freaking hospital. Just go into a mental hospital and just go over there. Let Stephanie McMahon and Triple H take care of this. They'll probably do way better jobs when you were doing it 10 years ago. So let them do it, and just you go to a mental hospital.
Like, Vince McMahon is an absolute virus to the wrestling world, and that virus needs to be put out immediately. I'm sorry. I'm done holding it back. I'm done holding back my thoughts on the piece of shit that Vince McMahon is. But whatever.
Let the CDC get him out of here. He's a virus. Let the CDC take care of him. Like, it's just not. He needs to get the hell out of here and let his daughter and his son-in-law pretty much take care of this and let this show become better than it was 2 years ago. Let's say more.
Very true.
Yeah. So, yeah, now let's move on to the next topic. Glad that we all got that off our chest because I just saw that this week and I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm not going to leave that out. So, now John Cena just returned on Raw a few weeks ago for the 20th anniversary special for him. And, he confronted Austin Theory backstage, a few others backstage, but it looked like Cena was going to fight Theory at SummerSlam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not the case. Basically, Theory is getting a U.S. Championship rematch against Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam. And you're probably questioning why the hell would they do that? That is unfortunately because John Cena is not returning again until probably WrestleMania next year.
Oh. So you mean all this buildup was completely useless, like WWE always does, and throw away the perfectly good story every
Well,
time?
well, the plan right now is they still want to do Theory versus Cena, but I guess that plan's being delayed till WrestleMania.
That's pretty dumb.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe Cena's filming Peacemaker or something. I don't fucking know. But yeah, so now I will say this. In the meantime, right now, Theory has got to be probably one of the most hated wrestlers in the entire community right now after his Money in the Bank win, which honestly took me by surprise a lot. I did not expect the sudden, massive switch up on Austin Theory the way it happened. But I mean, I get it though. His character over time became very annoying to the average audience viewer, and his Money in the Bank win did not feel very earned. So, in those aspects, I can see how Austin Theory can be annoying to the average audience viewer. But with all of that being said, I still think if you give this dude the right gimmick, the right character, he can still do good with it. And I think he can put on some great matches. He put on the best match on Monday Night Raw all year with AJ Styles back in January. He put on a great WrestleMania match with Pat McAfee. He put on a great sleeper hit at Hell in a Cell with Mustafa Ali. I get it, So I think even though Theory is a great wrestler, clearly that's not doing enough for the audience. So we need to switch up that character soon or at least evolve his character by the time he fights John Cena. Because I feel like currently with this whole selfie gimmick, no one is taking this dude seriously at all. And against John Cena as well.
Very fair. And what I would love them to do is bring back his persona from the Evolve show that he used to go to instead of before he went to WWE. He was on Evolve, and he has a really good persona. He was just pretty much being a dick to everyone, and I think I loved him in Evolve. He was just a funny guy, and he was more a dick. He was a good champion too. So I kind of want him to bring back that type of persona.
Yeah, honestly, that would be fair. I thought his work in Evolve and NXT in terms of character was actually very fun. I loved him being the typical friendly dumbass in NXT that got his ass beat every week. It was great stuff. It was genuinely comedic stuff. But yeah, I get it. This main roster character is so far the worst character this dude has ever had. But unfortunately, his character is now starting to get the real life individual heat. That is pretty unfortunate. So yeah. With all that being said, though, I feel like if you give Theory the right character, the right momentum, I feel like he can definitely be a good match against John Cena. I mean, no matter what, the match is going to be good. But I'm just talking I don't know. I guess in terms of getting more people invested on the Theory side of things as well, heading into that match. So next up, we move on to Tyson Fury returning to wrestling at the Saudi show in October. Yes, it looks like that is what is going to happen. He is getting set up for a return against who? I don't fucking know.
Brock
But
Lesnar.
they're returning Tyson Fury. The last time Tyson Fury came into wrestling, it was his debut match, and it was against Braun Strowman, which I think he won. Yeah, he won. Um, but yeah, so now we don't know what the hell he's about to do. Um, I will say this though: celebrity wrestlers, compared to 3 years ago, that whole concept has become very, very different. Pat McAfee, Bad Bunny, Logan Paul. I could basically, oh yeah, Ronda Rousey. Basically, in these past few years, the celebrity wrestlers or the celebrities that go into wrestling ended up surprising the world and ended up being way better than people anticipated them to be. So this is all I have to say for Tyson Theory. If he gives us the same exact bullshit that he did 3 years ago, and when I say bullshit, I mean a bad match. If he gives us, a bad match, after the celebrity appearance, reputation has been raised, I'm not going to need it. You already got other celebrities up in here who are actually more relevant than Tyson Fury, if we're being quite honest. So if he doesn't have a good match, I don't see the point in all of this.
Yeah, it's pretty much fair, and I do like Tyson Fury. I actually do watch a bit of his boxing matches. It was pretty interesting. I actually liked it. But for him, I was not impressed with him when he was fighting against Braun Strowman. And obviously enough, Braun Strowman is not the most impressive guy because of how bad he was set up in WWE.
Yeah.
If if they gave Tyson Fury a better opponent, that could give him a lot of bigger things. And I have three opponents that probably have a good idea to be fighting against him. One could be Bobby Lashley. That could have an interesting persona with him. I have no idea if that would work, but maybe. The other one I had maybe Walter, or I'm gonna keep on saying Walter, but it's Gunther. But I like Walter more. It could possibly happen, but I don't know if it's gonna work at the same time. And the secondary idea, because I feel like it should be someone big, like a big, tall guy at least. So the other one, maybe Happy Corbin, is the other guy I thought about. One of those three could be a perfect matchup for Tyson Fury, and could be interesting to see him. I'm just curious on how who's going to be fighting against Tyson, and whoever
Dude,
does, it could be good to see him in that Saudi show.
I will cry of absolute tears of just stupid happiness because I know the match would be terrible, but I think that's what would make it hilarious. Tyson Fury versus Brock Lesnar. That shit would suck.
No,
But that's why I
it'd be
want it.
so funny. It'd be funny.
It would be funny. And it would actually, it would be kind of interesting too if you think about it from like a sports combat standpoint. It's a boxer versus an MMA fighter.
True, but I don't know. Even
I
though
mean,
probably he might do some stuff with other people, or after Roman, what happens, or he just goes back and stays away from
Walter would be
WWE.
cool for Tyson too. Actually, yeah.
It makes sense. And the other one I thought was what's it called Bobby Lashley. It
Bobby
could
Lashley would be cool for him too.
it makes sense. And then the other one's Happy Corbin because we said in the other podcast that whoever Happy Corbin goes against, it doesn't really matter because he doesn't do anything about his character. If he loses, doesn't matter. So it could
Yeah.
be fun. And Happy Corbin does do some good matches. He has some good hit or misses for matches.
Plus,
So I think it could be good to see.
plus, Happy Corbin is actually a Golden Gloves boxer, so you have a story right there.
Yeah. So there's three great ideas they could do, and I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah. So, Chris has. I know he did not see Tyson Fury's match,
Nope.
at all. But what do you think about Tyson Fury popping up in the wrestling scene, soon for a potential Saudi Arabia match?
I mean, like you said, I mean, if his first match wasn't all that good, it's probably not going to be good. And they're probably just going to cash in Brock Lesnar because he's not really doing anything right now.
After unless if he beats Roman,
He's not going to beat Roman. They're not going to let it happen. They're not
I
going to
will.
let it happen.
But dude, you don't have Brock Lesnar go after someone that many times and lose that many times. There is no way.
We'll see. That's all I have to say.
If they actually have Brock lose at SummerSlam, I don't think Brock can redeem it. I'm sorry. I genuinely don't. I think his whole Beast character is dead if he loses at SummerSlam. That might be taking it far, but that's the truth. 3 L's in a row to Roman, bro. That is not acceptable. And he took an L to Bobby. Come on, man. Come on. So,
It's gonna be
yeah,
Cody.
Brock ain't a beast no more if he loses.
Gonna be Cody. Who takes the belt? He's gonna save this company again.
Well, we'll have to see. If anything, he's probably going to be the one who wins that Royal Rumble next year. Which, all right, I guess. Now, we move on to a good little question. So it's been half the year already. Half the year is already done, believe it or not. We're in July. The year went by very fast so far. But here is a good question to pop up. Last year's best wrestler, people were debating between Roman Reigns and Kenny Omega. From a character standpoint, it was Roman Reigns, but from an in-ring standpoint, it was Kenny Omega. I think that is what the common knowledge answer should be. But if we're talking 2022, overall, who is the best wrestler out there? I'll let you two answer first, and I'll give my personal opinion.
The best wrestler out there right now. It's gonna be interesting because I'd probably say John Moxley. For me, I think John Moxley has been the best wrestler for me.
He's been on a massive run this year.
Yeah.
Probably the peak of his entire career has been this year. It might be the best work he's ever done. So I can definitely see that argument.
Yeah, so probably for me, there's probably 3. I'll probably pick 3 from both from all 3 promotions that I watch myself. From WWE and Raw and stuff, I probably will give it to Bobby Lashley. I mean, I actually like Bobby Lashley and WWE right now. So
that's fair. Roman literally has had like 4 matches this entire year. So unfortunately, he can't really count.
Yeah, so that's one. AEW, definitely Moxley. And then for Impact, which is the one I watch, I'm going to 100% say Josh Alexander. He has been one of the best in Impact right now.
For sure, man. And then, okay, so interesting answer right there, Berman. What about yours, Chris?
I know it's gonna be. It's only for this year, and I already know I'm gonna be called out for this. But from what I've seen, only on the pay-per-views alone, on at least WWE's side, it's Cody Rhodes. Because, dude, every match he has with these pay-per-view things have been bangers, one after another. But
I will give you this credit. He's been the main focal point of WWE in 2022 for sure, with the absences of Brock and Roman constantly.
He's gonna replace them because we don't need them no more. We need fresh new blood. And then I guess for AEW, he's still relatively new, but if he gets pushed eventually, I want to give it to Konosuke because, dude, the moment he
Of the
arrived,
year?
dude, as of right now, dude, he's one of my favorites of this year. Just every match, no matter who it is, I will go out of my way just to watch his matches. I do not care who he fights because he's that great of a wrestler.
Now, oh wait, what were you about to say?
And he's gonna fight Eddie Kingston. He's gonna beat his ass later tonight. Thank you.
We'll see, man. Hey, if he beats Eddie Kingston, that's a huge win for Konosuke. So, here's what I will say as my answer. I'm not going to say from each company, whatever. I'm going to try to narrow it down to one. But before I narrow it down to one, I'm going to say my top 5. I think, without a shadow of a doubt, from an in-ring standpoint, the top 2 are Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley. Will Ospreay's work this entire year has been absolutely, and I mean absolutely, top-notch. His Wrestle Kingdom match with Okada, some of the stuff he's been doing as the interim U.S. champion in United Empire, his match against Moxley, his match against Zack Sabre Jr. in the New Japan Cup, and many others in the New Japan Cup. Without a shadow of a doubt, definitely from New Japan's sake, he is easily the best wrestler of 2022 on the New Japan side of things. 100%. No one comes close in that aspect. But, yeah, Jon Moxley, Will Ospreay for sure. Now, this one might be a bit of a surprise for both of you guys, but I'm going to explain. Dax Harwood from FTR.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Why him? He's just a tag wrestler. But actually, he's not. He's had a lot of great singles matches this year, whether it was against his own tag team partner or against Adam Cole or against many others on the roster. Dax has been on quite the singles run of a lifetime, if we're all being quite honest with ourselves. He was, oh, yeah, and then, yeah, just like I said, though, even as a tag team wrestler and as a singles competitor, he's been killing it in both worlds. Literally, you can put Dax Harwood in any single position you want to on that show, and he'll excel. Without a doubt, he belongs in the top 5 for me. So, yeah, and then MJF. I'm going to give it to MJF because as much as I love CM Punk, I basically said this about MJF. MJF's best work in AEW has been with CM Punk, but it would also be vice versa. CM Punk's best work in AEW has been with MJF as well. There is no denying about it. And when it comes to how MJF carries himself outside of the ring, how he stays in character all the time, his commitment to the business, whether you like him or not, is so fucking inspiring. It is ridiculous. No one is as committed to keeping this business real like MJF does. He treats wrestling like it's still the 80s and 90s, and that's how, in my opinion, it kind of should be. I love that MJF takes that style of, takes wrestling to a whole realistic level. Whenever, all that drama was happening with him and Tony Khan, like, it genuinely was something very freaking different from anything I've ever seen before in the wrestling world. But it's just magnificent shit overall. So MJF definitely gets that 4th spot. All right, and then I have to give it to one final person. Damn, I'm gonna get backlash for saying no one from WWE. Yeah, CM Punk gets the number 5, 100%. When it comes to the promos, the dedication, the character, again, kind of similar to MJF, Punk takes wrestling real. MJF and Punk are real school wrestlers, old school wrestlers. They care about storytelling more than anyone else in this business does today. And that's why I admire the hell out of both Punk and MJF. And no offense to Cody Rhodes, he doesn't have that dedication to character, in my opinion, like Punk and MJF does. That's just my personal opinion. So now, if I had to narrow it down to one out of those 5, fuck it, I'll go Jon Moxley. I think Jon Moxley is the best wrestler of 2022 so far. I think that's fair to say. So, yeah. If you guys had to narrow it down to one, would it be Jon Moxley for you guys, or probably not?
Jon Moxley, yeah. If I were gonna pick anyone else than Jon Moxley, and I didn't say it from New Japan, it would be Jay White.
Right.
But Jon Moxley is gonna be for me for all time.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. And for you, Chris?
Same here. Jon Moxley's saving this. Oh, he is AEW, man. This is his baby.
Yeah, Jon Moxley is AEW. Even though Punk is the company guy,
No.
Mox is like the guy who is identical with AEW, basically. That is a true statement. Punk and Mox are basically competing for that top guy spot at this rate. But I think, as of right now, I think Mox is doing better work in his career than Punk is. But both are doing amazing work in their careers, and that should not be denied. So, now we have to jump right in to the double review right here. So, NXT UK, July 7th. Me and Berman are going to go over this episode quickly over here and then talk about something that happened with the UK Championship afterwards. So, Berman, take it away.
All right. So first match was first the intro was pretty good. Then it was a pretty big ordeal that happened with them, and that was Tiger Turan versus Kenny Williams. The big thing was at backstage, Kenny Williams thinks that Tiger Turan is his old partner Amir Jordan. So they had a match. This match was not that bad. I actually like how fun these two actually are between each other. And I know it's 100% Amir Jordan. There's no doubt that in my mind it is Amir. But to me, I liked the match. It was a 6 for me because of how fun I like these guys kind of work together. They're fun, and I love Kenny. after the match, he was pretty much a sore loser. Starts attacking him, trying to take the mask off, and this is my part I love. As soon as he takes the mask off, he has a second mask right under it. It's just funny to me. And then after that, another mask right under it. It's pretty much like a comedic mask trope of I don't remember what movie does that, where he had a mask on top of each other. Maybe it was Austin Powers. I think it was
Yeah,
Austin Powers. And
and
it's just funny to me.
if you actually also want to know this, it was actually a reference to the 2009 Intercontinental title matches between Chris Jericho and Rey Mysterio. Because Rey Mysterio took like Rey Mysterio's mask off, then Rey had like another mask under the mask.
That's what should Pentagon do. Penta.
Yeah, Penta, Rey, all those guys did it before. Cool. Personally, I thought the match was average. It wasn't offensive by any means, but it was okay. I can't really say much else besides that. Kenny did attack after the match. He's obviously going crazy over, certain things happening recently. So, yeah, I'm going to give this a 5. That's all I could really say. And we'll go right into the next segment.
Yeah, so next was a dispute in backstage. Sam Gradwell tells Trent Seven that he's discussed with him, and I love Sam Gradwell. He's been one of my favorite, and he's been original. He was actually in the first tournament of the UK Championship. He was bald that time, but now he has a mohawk pretty much. But now he's bald again. But I do love Sam Gradwell. And this match with Trent Seven, that's probably going to happen this next week. It's going to be pretty good, and I do like it. Then Oliver Carter gets interrupted because by I think the Familia because pretty much mocking
Yeah,
him.
it was the Familia.
Yeah, and I love D Familia. He's probably one of my favorite factions, really, in the whole thing. He's just been total dicks, and Tio Man is probably one of my favorites to see. So it was really interesting. Next match was the Primate versus Josh Morrell. Primate is trying to strike it on his own after betraying his, let's say, master. Technically, that's how they were looking at beforehand. His master, I totally Eddie Dennis. So he struck it on his own. This was a pretty great match. This is pretty much a sleeper hit. Josh Morrell did a great job. I always watch. Josh Morrell has been doing great job in matches just when he loses, but he's still been doing great. And same with Primate in tag divisions, same time. So I've been happy with him. So this was a great match. I probably the best match on the card that happened. So definitely for me, I probably definitely give this a 8.5 because it was a pretty good showing for these two.
Yeah, I can honestly say the exact same thing. It was the best match on the show, and I thought both Primate and Josh were able to showcase themselves very, very well. And I definitely think giving Josh Morale more TV time I would like that, please. Josh Morale is definitely an interesting talent to say the least. And Primate did his thing too. He did great. I'm gonna agree with your rating actually, Berman. I'm gonna give this an 8.5 as well.
Yeah. So next match, well, not match. It was a it was some heat in the backstage with Blair Davenport, the returning Blair Davenport, which I think she has been one of the best before she got injured. Blair Davenport gets verbal with Mel, which is the French Hope. For other people who don't know that much, uh, and they're gonna have a match. No wait, Mel is gonna have a match next week, and it was a verbal altercation. They were just pretty much teasing each other. It was interesting. Then the NXT UK champion, that's Ilya Dragunov, calls out Wolfgang for his championship. Pretty much Dragunov versus Wolfgang for the UK championship, which will not happen, sadly enough. And I let technically Danny talk about that after I talked to this really quickly. It's it would have been a good match till we heard after the show, and Danny, you can take over for this one. Just tell everyone what happened.
Yes. So unfortunately, Ilya Dragunov on the show did call out Wolfgang, like Berman said, but that match is not going to happen. He got injured and unfortunately had to vacate the championship. And usually NXT UK likes to, tape 2 or 3 shows at a time. So whenever they got the news about it, clearly the cards for both the July 14th and 21st shows were vastly altered. While all the matches that are promoted are still going to happen, some might just be delayed by a week or so due to these, events. So, yeah, due to this, there's going to be a little tournament. Only a 4-man tournament, so it's just going to be 2 semifinals, then a final. Simple enough. You got Trent Seven versus Oliver Carter and Tyler Bate versus Joe Coffey. And whoever wins will face each other in the finals, I believe the week after, on the 21st episode. So we could be looking at, Bate versus Oliver versus Coffey, Seven versus Coffey, or Seven versus Bate. So we'll have to see which one we get out of those 4.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh,
So this is why it pissed me off. It kind of sucks with this happening. This match could have been a great match. I have been loving Wolfgang as a fighter. He's been great against Sam Shaw. So I kind of was well, Samuel Shaw. So it kind of sucked that happened to him. So it sucks, but I kind of wish he was in that tournament too. If he just called him out, it made no sense to me.
yeah.
So so it sucked, but I'm hoping that this tournament should be a great entertainment for people. So that's something else. So next would be Tate Mayfair versus Trent Seven, the heel Trent Seven, after he betrayed Tyler Bates by the best low blow ever, from his words. This was a squash, pretty much more or less, with Tate Mayfair doing some type of sneaky type of moves, trying to pin him really quickly, and but it's pretty much ended by Trent Seven doing his spinning backhand into the 7-star lariat or the Rainmaker, but 7-star lariat is his finisher. And it was a quick match. It was just a 5 because how it was interesting to see Trent Seven in his heel persona and being pretty much a dick to everyone. So I'd be interested to see him in the tournament too, same time
Yeah,
with his persona.
for sure. Before I get into this match, yeah, the tournament will be fun. Ilya was a great champion. I just want to acknowledge that really fast. I thought Ilya did a great job as the UK champion. I
Yeah,
thought he had some great defenses. Was he a better champ than Bate, or Walter or Dunn? That's up for debate. I can't personally say. So
can't say that too. Yeah, I'm probably gonna give him like number 3 out of anything. Like Pete Dunne is probably number 1, 2 Walter, Tyler Bate probably number 3 actually, and then Ilya on the bottom on number 4. I would say.
hmm. Yeah, honestly, that ranking's pretty fair. They're all great champions, though. Genuinely, all 4 of
Yes,
them had great runs. So, but yeah, this match between Trent Seven and Tate, it was average. It was just the simple stuff to get Trent over as a heel, which is fine, but it's whatever, man. Again, it was just a match, so I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10 as well. After the match, Sam makes the save. It looks like they're trying to push some kind of rivalry between Trent and Sam, which should be interesting, as
yeah,
mentioned before.
he's
So, yeah.
yeah. So he's been more like a hero to people. Pretty much been a hero to the yeah. He's been a hero to the defenseless. I'm gonna call it. So it makes sense how they're trying to push him. So I'm happy with that. I love Sam Gradwell. I said it before, so I'm happy with that. The Heritage Cup promo talking about it, that is going to be Noam Dar versus Mark Coffey, which is a
Yes.
great. I think I love Mark Coffey is great too. He's probably number 2 out of the Coffey brothers, but it makes sense. He's been great on his own, so I can't wait to see him go against this. I kind of want him to win because I think he'll be a great champion. I think he has been great to see him as one of the best champions. So,
Mm.
probably one of the great champion. So
Here's.
next match,
Oh,
uh,
sorry.
what you ready to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say that this is another interesting thing I just thought about. Mark is competing for the Heritage Cup, while Joe is competing for the UK title. Could we see the Coffey brothers both wearing gold in 2 weeks' time?
I would think yes. It's
That
not. It doesn't make. It doesn't make any type of difference really because complete sense to see these two because first thing first, Gallus has not had a singles title for the whole entire time. They have been there for a ton of time. So to
Right.
me, I would love them to have these more championships in the repertoire. Pretty much.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's pretty fair. But yeah, so uh, I guess we'll talk about the main event. Take it away.
Yes. So the main event is the Zaya Brookside with her friend Isla Alexander, which is pretty much the heel. Everyone hates them in their circumstances. So with that happening, it was going to be fighting against Saray and Meiko Satomura, a pretty much the best team they can do this. And it's a pretty good team with these two facing each other, and I'm happy with this match. And it was not that bad. It wasn't very. It was not very all standing, but it is a good match to watch just for entertainment value. Um, So this is not a match. I love the ending. It was not that bad to see these two. I always love Scorpio Rising finisher. One of the best finishers to see as women's finisher goes. So and I'd probably give this a 6.5 at least in this category of anything.
All right. I mean, I thought it was a bit better than some of the matches on the other show, but again, it's just kind of decent, basic by the books, harmless stuff. If I had to say so myself, there were a few spots that were genuinely pretty cool, though. I must say. But yeah, I can't really add on too much. I'm gonna say 6 out of 10. So I guess it is time to overall rate the shows. What would be your rating, Berman?
I give this a I give this a 6, probably 6.5. I think.
Okay, that's fair. For me, I thought the episode was just kind of average, basic stuff. Like again, it wasn't really wasting my time, but besides like the primate Josh match, there wasn't really anything that special for me. So I'm gonna give this a 5.5 out of 10. Now, that was NXT UK, ladies and gentlemen. So now it is time for the main event. AEW Dynamite 7/6/2022 review. First Dynamite in July. Ah, man, oh man. Before we dive right into this episode, Berman and Chris, what did you guys think about Dynamite?
To me, I think Dynamite was pretty good. I loved a lot of the matches. They were pretty good. I love the debut of Roosh, and I can't wait to talk more about this.
That's fair. And you, Chris?
I think this was like the year of promos. Like this was nothing but promos. I mean, they were good, but there wasn't that much wrestling. But I still enjoyed it. But it was definitely promo day.
All right. All right. Fair enough. Now, I thought it was a decent show. I can't really complain that much about it. It definitely wasn't one of the greater outings from Dynamite, but that's okay. They have Fighter Fest coming. They have other major episodes coming. They have the ROH pay per view coming up. They clearly got a lot planned out. So I can't be too mad about this episode, especially with the way it began. TNT Championship Street Fight, Scorpio Sky versus Wardlow. Scorpio Sky hasn't been defending the TNT title because he's been hurt for quite a bit. So you could tell he was kind of working hurt, which is why there was so many interferences throughout the match. But it didn't really matter because at the end, Scorpio went through the Powerbomb Symphony and Wardlow got his big ass moment and he won the TNT title in Rochester. Dude, it felt great. The confetti went off and all that shit. We were only 12 minutes into the TV show. I was like, damn, that's pretty wild. So, yeah, the match itself, even though it may have not been a great match, my God, was it a great moment. So, I'm very happy for Wardlow. Congratulations. Man, so much damage from Sammy Guevara and Scorpio Sky has been done to that championship. I am very, very hopeful that this can begin, some kind of redemption for that championship belt. So, with all those things being said, I'm gonna have to give this an 8.5.
Yeah, for me, it was pretty good. I loved to see him be the champion, and he it's been too long to see him as this champion with all this, um, all the MJF business happening. So it's worth the wait for this match. It's just a great moment to see this guys see this happening, and I'm hoping that this TNT Championship gets what it needs to. That's open challenges every week, like what had happened before when Brody Lee had this. Rest in peace. So this I'm happy for, and the confetti was great to see him. It's been a long time, so definitely give this an 8.5.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, when it comes down to like the open challenges for the TNT title, that's what helped make the TNT title the TNT title. And without those open challenges, I feel like it has really lacked its identity as a championship, other than, oh, it's just another title. But yeah, so Chris, your opinion.
You know, it, I was definitely happy when Warlord won because I didn't really care about Scorpio Sky this entire time, so we'll get an actual champion. And as for the match itself, besides the little spots the All American team had, it was kind of goofy. But I already knew Warlord was gonna win this because I'm like, there's no way in hell you guys are gonna let Scorpio Sky be a Warlord. But I'm glad he got to shine, and he finally did it.
Funny enough, he already did, but yeah, if he did if he did beat him, that meant he would have beat him twice. So thank God it didn't happen.
And then just remember that Wardlow got a champion before MJF did. So let's go.
Yeah, that's very true. Wow, Wardlow won a title before MJF did. I mean, if you want to count the Diamond Ring, go ahead, but you're basically right.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild to think about. Holy shit.
I'm
Hey,
just like,
man,
oh,
but think about it like this though: who's going to win that AEW title first? Is the golden question.
MJF.
Exactly, exactly, and that's
one
what
day,
matters more.
one day.
We're getting near that day. When we just need Punk to come back, then MJF to attack Punk when he comes back, and there we go.
But yeah,
Honestly, instead of just doing Mox versus MJF or Punk versus MJF, what if they just said fuck all and did a triple threat?
It could work, definitely.
yeah.
Definitely, I think it'd be interesting to see.
I feel like that's what they should do at this rate, honestly, because either way, whether Punk or Mox wins, you're getting a rematch. If you do a triple threat, it's a completely new match. But hey, I'm cool with either Mox versus MJF or Punk versus MJF whenever that time comes. So yeah, Moxley cut a little backstage promo talking about Brody King, what he's going to do to him later, blah, blah, blah. Mark Sterling wants Swerve out, so they go to Keith Lee, and Keith Lee admits, even though there are some trust issues here and there, he's still his tag team partner, and there's no way in hell he's going to sign his partner out of the company. And unlike Tony Nese, Mark Sterling, his team picks up wins. So, yeah, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what that all has to do, or I don't know why they're targeting Swerve right now a lot, but hey, they want Swerve out. It ain't gonna happen. Whatever. Jake Hager and Claudio had a backstage promo because Claudio is going to have his second one-on-one match in AEW against Jake Hager next week on Fighter Fest. And yeah, they used to be tag team partners in WWE, the Americans or the All Americans, whatever the hell they were, and they did the We the People thing. They have Seb Coulter there. They actually got over quite a lot at a certain point in time too. They definitely could have threw the tag titles on those two. I honestly don't know why they never did, but hey, we're here now, and they're gonna meet next week. And honestly, I'm excited to see where that match goes. I am. I think it should be a very good match. What do you guys think about Jake Hager versus Claudio?
For me, it'd be interesting. I love these two, and more or less, technically, this is probably Claudio's debut on AEW TV, more or less, because he was on pay per view. So that's another thing. You think that too. Uh, I think I can't wait to see this match. Both of them have this great physique because both of them are pretty much gigantic. So it's probably a good power match to me. Great heavyweight, good heavyweight match.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And what about you, Chris?
And I like his little promo he against Claudio's like, you weren't a champion in the company. So why are you even fighting me?
Yeah,
It was good, but in all seriousness, Claudio's matches have been great so far. He's great in WWE, and he's gonna be even better in AEW. So I'm pretty hyped
exactly.
for it. I'm hyped for this match next
Exactly.
week.
I'm loving the work that they've done with Claudio so far. In just 1 week, Claudio's felt like a bigger star that he's ever felt in the 10 years of AEW. I mean, WWE, I mean. Yeah. So, next up. Oh boy, we got a bit to talk about this one. Christian Cage cuts one of the most savage promos of 2022 on Matt Hardy. A lot of people are debating right now whether it was right or not for Christian to take constant shots at Jeff Hardy. Now, this is a hot take for sure. So when it comes down to it, right, Sheamus and Jeff Hardy had the storyline in 2020. So did Elias and Jeff Hardy in 2020. That basically WWE made multiple storylines over and over and over again about Jeff Hardy's real life substance issues and all that other stuff. Sure, maybe it was approved, maybe it wasn't, but either way, all these AEW wrestlers have freedom on the mic, and that's something I think a lot of people tend to forget here and there. So it wasn't like, Tony Khan deliberately wrote on a script, okay, so we're going to do this and this, say this about Jeff Hardy. No. AEW may give a few bullet points and whatnot, but they don't write the overall scripts. There was no malicious intent in mind to Jeff Hardy. I could safely say that. However, Christian had no right to say that shit.
Yes, he did.
No, he
Yes,
didn't.
he did.
What do you mean?
Savage.
Oof. Well, what do you think about this promo, Berman?
I freaking love this promo. This was the most savage. It was just so brutal that he pretty much hit him with a gut punch to Matt Hardy, pretty much, with him talking about his freaking brother. That is just so brutal. It was good too. I love Christian as this mean a-hole that everyone hates. This is probably the most hated person in the company right now because how much he just disses anything. Even Jungle Boy. We didn't even discuss what happened with Jungle Boy and him. Freaking just says that Christian Cage just saying his dead father, saying your dead father would hate you if you doing like what you have been doing right now. It was just so brutal. He's been just the most savage person in these 2 weeks so far. Jesus Christ. So I'm it was just so brutal, but I'm happy to see this like intensity from Christian Cage. And to me, I'm okay with him being this messed up to Hardy. Don't get me wrong, it might not have been a little bit too hard, but it's the Hardys. They have been more extreme between each other for a long time. So to me,
Yeah.
I'm okay with it, and I can't wait to see more from Christian Cage being more savage to everyone else.
I think the other reason is Christian knows the Hardy boys very well. Like Edge and Christian, the Dudley boys, Hardy boys, they had that series of matches all throughout the Attitude Era, and that connected them forever, basically. Because some people like to look back on those matches and say, "God damn, those were some of the best tag team matches ever." Maybe some believe it, maybe some don't. But point is, there is that belief. So, with all of that being said, though, I definitely think a lot of people have been critical of AEW in the past year on their handling of Christian Cage. I mean, Christian Cage has been there, but it didn't feel like it was actually Christian Cage. It felt like he was being a face and whatever, and fine, he did his job good, but there was just so much other stuff in AEW going on around him. So I feel like the presence of Christian or whoever Christian was, I feel like that was missing quite a bit within this past year. So him turning heel, all this stuff, I feel like this is definitely him returning to the roots of who he was as a wrestler and as a character. And honestly, it's needed for him. It definitely is.
Yeah, 100%. That's I can't say any more about about him, as I just said before. I just can't wait to see more of this Christian just being as savage as possible to everyone.
And he's telling
Yeah,
the
and
truth
then
too. To be fair,
oof. I mean,
he's not wrong.
shut up.
He's not wrong though.
You're evil. All right. Now,
Okay.
now we move on to the next match, which was literally just a match. Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus The Butcher and Blade. Yeah, I thought this was average stuff. It may have arguably even gone a bit longer than it should have. I know. That might sound like I'm a bit like insulting to The Butcher and Blade, but yeah, come on, man. Keith Lee and Swerve should be kind of ending these guys in quicker fashion, in my opinion. But it was average for what it was. Uh, Keith Lee and Swerve won. And before I talk about what happens after the match, I'm going to let these two discuss it. My overall rating is a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, this match was not that bad. It was, yeah, it probably definitely was average. I do love that the team of Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland is pretty great. It's a fun, interesting match to watch. And Butcher and Blade, I'm happy that they're striking out on their own without Andrade or Matt Hardy. So I do like that, and it was not that bad a match. It was interesting, kind of. I felt like it was maybe because of Keith Lee hitting Swerve by accident, could have maybe did something. I thought maybe it would be more twist, maybe a heel turn from one of those two. But no, it was just more friendly. So I'm happy with that. It was definitely a 5, and that's all.
Yeah, and like you said before, it's average. I mean, I like Keith Lee and Swerve, so I enjoyed it for what it was. But the next thing Daniel is gonna get into is pretty controversial because he's got a point, and I'm gonna agree on him with this one. So Daniel, you take it away.
The Young Bucks cut the worst promo of 2022. I am not over exaggerating. These two fuckers cannot talk on a mic for shit. Oh my fucking god. Okay. Now, Keith Lee and Swerve, they get interrupted by Team Taz. Team Taz are not done with them. Ricky Starks was on a roll. And what fried dumbass decided to have the Young Bucks interrupt Ricky Starks on the mic? Who thought that was a good idea? Who? Seriously, who? But anyways, moving on to the Young Bucks, what they have to say though, they look at both tag teams. Neither of them are the number one contenders, by the way. And basically, they uh they gave them the title shot, but they go off to say they invented this damn company. How fucking dare they? No, seriously. Tony Khan and Cody Rhodes are the two behind the operation. The Young Bucks. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? All they get to do is write themselves as champions over and over and over again. But basically, they gave them the title shots because they're dodging FTR. And then they had the audacity to say they are the best damn tag team of all time. The Road Warriors, Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, Midnight Express, the Hardy Boys, FTR, DIY, Harlem Heat, NWO, DX. You fuckers are not the best tag team of all time! You're not as offensive as fuck to this whole industry!
I just want to let you know, Danny, you fucking destroyed my ears. I had to take off my mic for like a hot second.
Dude, like, they suck. They're not the best. They're not even close. All they had to do was talk on a microphone for 90 seconds, and they couldn't even fucking do it. How are these guys the champions over and over and over? Oh yeah, it's because they write themselves into that fucking corner. Who actually likes this shit? I'm done, man. I'm fucking done. If FTR don't beat these fucking jabronis at all out, I don't know what the hell to say at that rate. I hate the Young Bucks, and I hate this promo. And this promo is all I need to use to prove my point. They're ass. They have zero originality. They have nothing cool about them. They're just geeks and morons. That's it. This promo's fucking trash. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about the Young Bucks. Yeah, fuck them. Just fuck them. Best tag team of all time. They can't even crack the top 25, and they're talking best tag team of all time. How fucking dare you? How dare anybody with a brain try to tell me that shit? How fucking dare you? Now, let's move on to the House of Black promo. So now it looks like Malachi Black, he's going after John Moxley. He's basically saying that Brody King will win that title and bring it to the House of Black. That's really all that he said. Next, Eddie Kingston's interview gets interrupted by Ruby Soho's attack. Well, she got attacked by Ty Conti and the Jericho Appreciation Society from the looks of it. So basically, Jericho's saying, I'm not done with you. And Kingston said the same thing prior beforehand. He's making him tap out because that's what needs to happen for Kingston to sleep at night. So I think it's great that this feud has been going on basically since almost the beginning of the year. Yet somehow it still feels fresh. I don't know why that is, but I genuinely am happy that this feud has not died out yet because I am enjoying this feud. And if they want to drag it all the way to All Out, you know what? Fine by me. So, yeah. What do you guys think about this segment?
This was pretty interesting. I love that the start of Eddie's interview, he first thing first, pretty much teased not Tony, the person I think his name is Tony, right next to him. I totally forgot his name.
Yeah, you're right. It is Tony.
He said, "Put up the mic, be a professional," and it just made me laugh because that was a pretty funny segment. Then he said to Wardlow, "Good job, Wardlow, for winning that
Yeah,
title."
that too. That was cool.
That was nice. He was pretty much saying good things about him, and then started saying stuff about Jericho and stuff. Then the Ruby Soho attack was pretty interesting. I would like how they are doing this, and I can't wait to see more of this. I would like to see either a submission match or a I Quit match between these two to settle this once and for all. I think that one of those two matches should be the end of the saga of Eddie Kingston versus Jericho. One of those two matches would be interesting, and I can't wait to see more of this.
And then your opinion on this segment, Chris?
It was
We're
good.
in the feud.
It's a good feud, but I don't like Ruby Soho, and I still don't. And that was cringe. Her hand did not get hit by the door, and I don't care what to do to Ruby Soho. She's not part of the Blackpool Combat. You get out of here right now. You get
What
out
if
of
she
this
does
feud.
become a part of the Blackpool
No,
Combat?
she's not cool enough. And if anyone's gonna be in it, get an actual competitive and competent female wrestler.
You know what I want? I want Jamie Hayter in the Blackpool Combat Club. A lot of people are saying Serena Deeb.
No,
No.
No,
Jamie Hayter.
I'm down
Jamie
for that.
Hayter. Get
you
her the
should.
fuck away from Britt Baker and Reba because she is way better than being their sidekick. And let her actually prove herself. And trust me, she'll become one of the most over talents in the entire women's division as a face.
Yeah, I think that's 100% correct. I don't know why they keep Jamie Hayter pretty much dog-tied or chained to Britt
Britt
Baker
Baker,
for no
yeah,
reason. It
no
just makes
reason.
no sense.
You are
They
completely
need
right.
her. Yeah, it makes just get the hell, cut the chain with the freaking bolt cutters and let her go on her own, become into the Blackpool Combat Club, and just become a champion. She has all the potential to be a champion, but they let her dog-tied to Britt Baker for no reason whatsoever.
Literally, like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, dude. When it comes to all of the women's wrestlers in AEW, there's at least one bad match from them, right? Jamie Hayter might be the only woman in all of AEW that has never had a bad match.
It's pretty fair too, yeah. So I have no idea why they keep on doing that. Probably people are going to start complaining to them sooner or later. I'm just hoping that they do it sooner than later, and that's all I have to say on this one.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Chris, if you were to add a woman to the Blackpool Combat Club, who would it be?
Hmm. I would add Athena, dude. That'd be cool. And then she could use that, and then she could use that
Athena.
against the baddie section. That'd be pretty
Hold
cool.
up. Athena would be fire. Yeah, that
It
would be
fits
cool
your
too.
character too, dude.
That would be interesting. Athena and the Blackpool Combat Club.
Oh, another idea. What about Mercedes?
That's a good one. Mercedes is more of a violent kind of wrestler as well.
There's not a lot of big violent wrestlers. I gotta say about there's only Jamie Hayter. Athena is graceful. I'm gonna call it graceful, but she is uh pretty violent too. But I think Mercedes Martinez has is like aggressiveness. She could probably become in Blackpool Combat Club after it's Serena Deeb stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. So now this next segment is going to be interesting. The Dark Order return to Rochester. There's 6 of them, including -1, who is considered to be the leader of the Dark Order, if y'all didn't know that. Basically, it was a comedy segment involving QT Marshall, basically insulting the kid and challenging him to a match for embarrassing him on AEW Dark a few months ago. This leads to Hangman Adam Page coming out and basically, backing up his friends, the Dark Order, by kicking QT's ass. And then Brody Lee Jr. grabs a mic and says, "I could kick your ass right now, but I'm gonna wait until I'm 19." That's basically all he said. Simple enough, straight to the point. But again, he's a kid, Chris. Before you bash his promo,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it as soon as you're done.
But no, seriously though, yeah, it was fine for what it was. This whole segment, I just gotta say it though. I was looking at the entire ring, right? I was looking at 10. I was looking at John Silver. I was honestly even looking at Anna Jade, and I was like, all 6 of them would be really good on their own without each other. As much as people can love the Dark Order, it without a Brody Lee watching over it, without a Bray Wyatt coming in and taking over it, it kind of feels just kind of like a feels good comedic group at this point, which is honestly the exact opposite of what we were trying to make the Dark Order in the first place. And I mean, I get why they turned face. Obviously, they were forced to because of Brody Lee and everything. It made sense, but I don't know, man. Recently, I feel like the whole Dark Order gimmick is actually holding all these guys back more than helping them at this rate of time.
Completely fair. And for a great example, on Impact this week, Alan Angels was fighting against Speedball Mike Bailey for the X Division Championship, and they had the best match on the show. It's definitely like a 9 because it was so good and just one. You could have seen Alan Angels win that championship completely. It was just one of the best matches. That shows how good these Dark Order people are on their own.
Right, I definitely need to check out that match as well. I've heard a lot good about it.
Yeah, it was great, and I'm hoping that sooner or later they either try turning heel. They could do it, but I don't know if they can try turning heel or break loose of Dark Order and become more than the Dark Order, then and become solo more.
Like, honestly, I think about it like, dude, if John Silver has been on his own for at least a year plus, he probably could have become a TNT champion by now.
Yes.
Isn't that kind of sad to think about?
Yeah.
Just this group needs to fucking die. I'm sorry. This group needs to end. I don't care about, like, I get it. The kid's 11. He needs a group of friends.
And work on his promos because that was
but no, we're not gonna
Yes.
bash the 11-year-old kid for his promos.
It.
God, fine, go ahead.
I don't understand what he said. Like Brody Lee Jr., you need to work on that before you fight QT Marshall in 9 more years. Because I wasn't buying it. I wasn't feeling the story. And I don't know what he said on the mic.
Berman, can you believe this guy?
Bashing it again. Don't get me wrong. It's the same thing for me. I couldn't even hear what he said. I was like, sorry, can you repeat that again, please? I'm
I was like, come
gonna
on, you're
play.
disappointing your dad.
I'm
Come
pretty much gonna
on.
be.
Okay, okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
Jesus
kidding.
That's going a
Christ.
little too
I'm
far.
just kidding. I'm
That's
just
Jesus
going
kidding.
too
I'm just
far.
kidding. I'm
Christ.
just kidding.
That's going too far. That's going way too far, dude.
Holy crap.
I'm just kidding. It's a
I
joke.
didn't expect that at
Just a
all.
joke.
I know, but Jesus.
Jesus
Calm
Christ.
down.
You're like going. You're becoming a mini Christian Cage.
Oh my god. Man.
You're in a
All right.
deep cuts better promos than you, kid.
Oh my god. I hate you. I hate
Or do you want to compare him to Hornswoggle?
you. Well, at least Hornswoggle was like above drinking age.
And he was Irish too.
Yeah. Um. Man.
Thank you,
All
guys. You
right.
just got us. I got canceled right now.
Now, this next match, we got Roosh versus Pentagon. I thought this was a very good match. I didn't really love the ending that much, but it was fine for what it was, the ending. But overall, you get some pretty cool spots from both Roosh and Pentagon doing his usual thing. I really can't complain. Um, overall, I don't know, it sounds pretty really vague what I'm saying about this match, but there really isn't anything I can go too into detail about, realistically. So I'm just gonna say it's a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I would say me too. Probably 7.5. This is a good match. I was happy to see Roosh in the AEW. I watched him a lot. Just a few matches in Triple A and some matches sorry, it's called Ring of Honor. It was a good. I think I was happy to see him. I love his finisher. His finish is great, and I'm hoping he does a little bit more. There was one critique I have in this match, and I think it was storyline, but every time Pentagon did something, you see his mask completely fall off, and he fixed it. And to me, it just kind of bugged me if that was my perfectly honest. I felt like I think he was trying to do. I think Roosh did a headbutt. His mask pretty much came off of his head, fixed it again. It just kind of maybe space out a little bit of the match. Don't get me wrong, but I think the match was pretty good. So definitely, I'm gonna say 7.5.
And for what it was, I like this new guy. I'm not familiar with Roosh. The match was great, but I'm getting kind of sick and tired. I know it's a luchador thing where you take off their mask and they can't fight anymore. But he already did this like a week ago. And if you're gonna cheat, do something a little different. That's all I gotta say.
All right, 7.5 as well for you, I assume.
Yeah, I just hate that dude. It's just so stupid. I'm like, just cover your face and finish the fight. It's
They should
fine.
do is have a second. They should have a second mask over it, just like what Tiger Duran did. Just have a second mask right over it.
Yeah,
And like Batman.
man. Now we're gonna get on to a few announcements. Orange Cassidy versus Tony Nese on Rampage should be a fun match. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got Samoa Joe versus Jay Lethal announced for the ROH TV Championship. Um, oh boy. Now, it's for Death Before Dishonor. I think the match itself can be very good. As a matter of fact, it can even be great. But the story for this match, the feud for this match, has been so fucking bad that I cannot forgive it.
Completely true for me. It's just I hate the Jay and friends, the Lethal and friends. They just so annoying. I'm okay with Sanjay Dutt. Sanjay Dutt, great wrestling guy. He's a great X Division guy, but don't like it's just so dumb to see these guys become more like a comedy routine with these two. Don't be like this. Become like better. Maybe become more like a freaking heel, like freaking Christian Cage or something close to that. Be more evil or something. Just don't be like two like dipshits, pretty much. And that's the only thing I say about this.
Completely fair, honestly. You, Chris?
Um, I mean, if Jay Lethal does end up winning this match, like, I I guess it'll be fine. I mean, he was the OG Ring of Honor champion, but I don't like his crew. and I still fast forward his promos because they're cringe, and I don't care about the Indian dude they have.
Yeah, like it's sad that I was actually very excited for the heel turn when it happened, but I didn't know it would lead to possibly some of the worst character work he's ever done. Like I usually think Lethal is very good at character work, actually, so it's quite weird seeing his character be this bad on AEW television, if I'm being quite honest. But yeah, now we move on to what had to be the sad boy hours moment of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Ass Boys versus Fuego and Roughing It. But dude, Max Caster didn't even get to freestyle. I believe it was Austin. Yeah, Austin or Colton. I can't tell the two apart really. They do look different, but I just don't do my research to care who is who. I'm sorry. But yeah, they interrupted Max Caster, and they constantly made sure that Max and Anthony would get as least a bit of shine as possible in that match. And they even stole the pin after Max Caster's elbow drop. But Max and Anthony, just like the viewers, we were all caught off guard, man. What the hell is this all about? But then, basically, Austin and Colton started attacking the Acclaimed during their argument. And the dad was like, or Daddy Ass, as we all like to call him, Daddy Ass came into the ring and he shoved both of them off of the Acclaimed. And then, surprisingly out of nowhere, he clotheslines Max Caster and turns his back on them. And Anthony Bowens, he put the scissors out, saying, "Scissor me, Daddy Ass." But he didn't. He drove his ass to the canvas with the famouser. I just have to say it, Maine. If you care about your family, you would never do that to your own bloodline like Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. They are your brothers from another mother's. How fucking dare they do this?
Yeah, same with me. I'm not going to be that passionate with these. For me, it's a fun. I love the fun comedic stuff. I always love the Acclaim. He's probably my third favorite tag team, just because of how fun they are and how great kind of roasters they are. They are. I'm gonna give this a 6. This is not like it's just more like comedic and just kind of it developed the line of the ass boys betraying the acclaimed. I always loved the Scissor Me Daddy. It just makes me laugh always. So it's sad to see these guys kind of separate because I actually love the combination between them. But like, I'm okay with it. But that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, honestly, I think it is time we turn the Acclaimed face. Like, even though I'm not like the biggest fan of the Acclaimed, I cannot deny how much the audience actually loves the Acclaimed. It's basically become irresistible at this rate. They're going to be practically forcing the booking the Acclaim into a more relevant position sooner rather than later. So, yeah, I think they're turning them face, and that will be very interesting to see how they can connect with audiences as faces, which I think they'll do just as well as they are with heels. As long as you just keep them as, kind of the same, but I'd say with a bit more of an aggressive side that can help me take them more seriously, I think the Acclaim could honestly be very interesting on screen instead of just, the, little corny rappers during the entrances. So I don't know. I'm kind of open minded to see where this all goes. So yeah, I agree with you though. I'm going to give this match a 6. What do you think, Chris?
I mean, it was fun, but like you said, if the Acclaim become faces, I don't have a problem with that. I think they're better faces than heels anyway, so. And we get the ass boys to become evil ass boys versus the awesome Acclaim.
Dude, the Ass Boys have been evil since day one, but now this just cements their legacy as evil.
They're just too evil for this company, man. It's not very child friendly.
Forget about all the shit that happened with D Generation X. All right, forget about all the shit Billy Gunn has done before. This is the most sinful thing he has ever done, and dude, Daddy Ass is gonna get his judgment day.
Pause. Pause.
Oh man. Next, we get to Miro doing one of his promos, and he's calling out Malachi Black after costing him the All Atlantic Championship. Y'all, are we heading towards a face Miro?
Possible. Everyone loves Miro, so and he's a perfect face. He could be a face, but more like a Punisher. He might be like that type of character. Like he punishes the bad, and he's a good guy pretty much. And it could be interesting. I think that's actually a perfect thing for Miro to get into to fight against House of Black.
Yeah, completely fair. Then you, Chris, would you be open minded to a Miro face run
As
in
long as
AEW?
as long as he's like a John Moxley, an anti-hero, I'm down for it. He can't be a complete baby face.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. But I think that's the route they're going. He literally acted the exact same in his promo, but I just think he's slowly going to antagonize all the bad guys instead of the good guys, which is interesting. He kind of already has, with Ethan Page as well on that one episode. So, yeah. Now this next match was honestly another average ass match. If I'm being quite honest here, Thunderstorm versus Marina Shafir and Nyla Rose. Um, Man, they are really insistent on giving Marina Shafir a screen time every single week. I don't know why. I feel like she doesn't have a lot of experience inside of the ring, and she doesn't really even know who the hell her own character is. So why are we giving her screen time in comparison to some of the others in the back? That's just my only question here. But it's average. It's fine. Thunderstorm get the win. 5 out of 10.
Yeah, this is. I don't know why Mira Shafir is. One thing that people should know that is true that she is Roderick Strong's wife, but it doesn't make no
I
sense
did
why
not know that.
you didn't
That
know
is
that.
interesting.
I did.
Okay, no, now that's the reason they're pushing her. That's the reason they're pushing her. There we go. We
I thought
found
you
it.
knew that. That's surprising to me. But yeah, she is. She actually did appear in NXT, showing that she has Roderick Strong's baby in her carriage. She kind of showed it in NXT before the Black and Gold NXT. So that's probably why they're trying to maybe approach her a little bit. Maybe she's going to go into the Elite. That could be a good idea. They bring her into Elite when Roderick Strong goes into Elite 2.
Mm,
I don't know, but she just needs to improve it stuff.
yeah,
Like I like how technical she is. She just got to improve. If she wants to be more main event or go for something bigger for her, improve on her mics and improve on her character.
yeah,
And maybe she can become better line on the higher ranking people. But all else, besides the Marina Shafir, the match was not that bad. The finish was cool. An assisted Thunder Fire Driver combination. It was pretty good. It's definitely a 5 for me. And I'm hoping something happens with Marina Shafir. Something. I don't know what's going to happen.
yeah. All right. You know what? I did not know at all actually about the Roderick Strong thing. That is very interesting. But no, the reason why people may be wondering, oh, why did I say there it is? There's the reason. Here's the deal, right? Roderick Strong is basically the fourth member of Undisputed Era with Adam Cole, with Kyle O'Reilly, and with Bobby Fish. And we know AEW has a massive love for these three. So let's be completely fair here. Roderick is probably just waiting out his contract to join all of them. That is exactly what's happening right now. That's why his wife and all his friends are over there. Because, and think about it, and if his wife gets good as well, booked good as well, that's going to be more of a convincing reason to bring Roderick into the brand. So honestly, this all seems like it's for Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. Now that you put it out there. So
Yeah, makes sense.
now, next up, we got an interim baddie, and yeah, it looks like while Red Velvet is out, they're finding their interim baddie. Jade doesn't know how to feel about the baddie that Malcolm brought, but we'll see how time tells. Now we go over to the announcement that Wheeler Yuta is defending his peer championship against Daniel Garcia at ROH Death Before Dishonor. And Garcia basically said it like this: the fake tough guy act that Yuta has been playing on these past few months is bullshit, is disingenuous, and nobody buys this dude as a tough guy. So I'm going to expose him for the fake that he is. That's basically his promo.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. I don't know. I this match is gonna be great. I mean, both of them have the best technical stuff, and for the Fear Championship, it perfectly works with these two. And Daniel Garcia is a great per- person to fight against them. And it was an interesting interview, and Daniel Garcia is growing into this bigger person with the Jericho Appreciation Society. So this is gonna be interesting. That's all I have to say.
Now, this next thing took me by surprise. FTR called out the Briscoes for a second match at Ring of Honor. It seems like there are clear problems between the Briscoes and AEW, or not AEW, it's Warner Bros. Actually, Warner Bros. Media, who is in charge of the telecasting that AEW does and all the other stuff, I suppose. But basically, I guess AEW were trying to find certain loopholes to be able to book, the Briscoes on a show or two. So, yeah, I'm happy to see these guys get booked again. And I think the match itself will be probably, I don't know if it'll be as good as the first match, but I think it'll be a great match. Definitely. So,
Yeah,
are you excited for FTR Briscoes 2, Chris?
Hell yeah, dude. Their first match was so much fun. So this rematch is gonna be so good for the Ring of Honor segments, dude. Because
Facts,
the
man.
Briscoes are cool. They're really good wrestlers, and I like their little characters. Redneck
Yeah,
bullies.
I agree. I agree a lot. So now we get to the main event. AEW Interim Championship match. Jon Moxley versus Brody King. Brody King got to look strong in some aspects. This was basically booked kind of how it just, it was a 10-15 minute basic main event on Dynamite. It was a good standard match. There were definitely some spots you could go back to and watch on the match for sure. But I didn't think it was anything that special. Definitely not for a title AEW championship match. I don't think it lived up to that standard of the AEW championship matches that we have seen before. But I think it was a good match. And Moxley retains, of course. No surprise there, but that obviously is the right decision to do. You're not going to give the title to Brody King. You're not doing that. But yeah, I'll say this is a 7 and pass it on to my co-host.
So, first thing first, because I wanted to talk a little bit something about the Briscoes stuff. The there might be some difficulties with that because I heard, and it happened recently too on Impact, that I think it's Mark Briscoe got injured. His leg got injured. I don't know how
Ooh,
serious is it. I don't know how serious is it, but it was a recurring injury that he had pretty recently, in December 30th, I think it was. But I have
oh,
no idea if it's confirmed 100% that it's not. But I just want to give that heads up because I remember it happening and I know it was. I think it was fairly bad injury that he happened, but I don't know if it was like if he can heal fast enough. So I want to bring that up before I talk into the interim championship.
God damn it. Injury season strikes again.
Yeah. So maybe go back into the interim AEW championship match. This match was not bad. It was kind of layman's because I kind of got the ending kind of got me a little bit underwhelmed because I think the ending kind of was lackluster.
Oh yeah, I agree. I forgot to mention that. The ending was ass.
Yeah. The match I would love Brody King, and I don't think I have seen him yet use the Gonzo Power Driver yet, which is probably one of my favorite to see used. But um, it was very lackluster with the ending. Like the first start of the match to the end, to halfway to the match or so, was pretty good. Like all the fist flying, all the power moves, doing it against John Moxley and stuff. But not bad. Brody King got some uh put him out there, got himself out there, pushed him a little bit himself. It was not that bad, but the ending kind of was lackluster. Like putting Brody to sleep, kind of maybe a little bit lackluster, and how it was put on was very lackluster. Like I mean, no sense. It was very underwhelming for the ending. Don't get me wrong, not a bad match. I definitely give this probably a 7.5, but it was not. It was fairly underwhelming of the ending.
Yeah, and then the match was good. I'm surprised that Brody King got so much defense, and plus those cannonball dives on John Moxley were so insane. Like he was destroying him for like half the match. But I knew he wasn't gonna win. But I'm glad that at least Brody King didn't like come off as weak in this match. In fact, he came out as strong as ever, so it didn't really ruin his character. But the message was clear: the House of Black may not always win, but they always come back lurking in the shadows.
Good point, man. Good point.
But yeah,
So
it was good. It was a 7.
nice. So overall, I'm gonna rate the show a 6.5 out of 10.
For me, I'd probably give this probably just a 7 for me.
Okay, and then for you, Chris.
Let's give it like a 6. I just enjoyed like 2 matches and like one promo, if I'm being quite honest.
All right, that's fair. Well, thank you all so much for watching episode 12 of the Pile Driver podcast. I've been Daniel,
And Chris.
and we'll see you all in the next one.